Welcome back to Devland Diaries. I'm your host, Michael Kessler. Now, let me ask you something. What happens when technology evolves faster than we can keep up? When the machines start taking over jobs left and right and no one is there to hit the brakes? The simple answer, chaos. And that's exactly where we're headed if we don't start demanding regulation in this rapidly advancing AI and automation space. You know, we've been hearing about robots coming for our jobs for decades, and it was always this distant thing, a hypothetical future. Well, guess what? The future is now. AI is already rewriting the rules of the workplace, and it's not coming to assist you, or it's coming to replace you. And if we don't act now, we're going to find ourselves living in a world where massive corporations and tech giants control not just our jobs, but the very systems we rely on to survive. You're seeing it every day. The automation creeping in, the self-checkout lines at your local store, the robots delivering your packages, AI writing news articles, generating content, and even analyzing legal documents. It's getting harder and harder to distinguish where the human ends and the machine begins. But here's the problem. No one is taking responsibility for this technological explosion. Sure, we've got AI innovation happening at breakneck speed, but where's the regulation? Where's the conversation around how these advancements are going to impact the people behind the work? Where's the consideration for those whose livelihoods are at risk? It's no longer about whether AI can do the job. It's about whether we as a society want AI to take the job. And here's the kicker. If we let these tech giants run wild without any oversight, we're handing them the keys to the kingdom. And trust me, they're not interested in fairness. They're interested in profit. And when profit is the only driving force, that's when workers get left behind. This is where we need to wake up and start demanding regulation. Not just a little oversight. I'm talking about real, meaningful regulation that ensures AI and automation don't just replace jobs, but that they benefit society. Regulation that ensures AI doesn't just make things cheaper for the rich and powerful, but that it elevates everyone. We need to build a framework for the future that doesn't leave workers in the dust. We need a system that ensures workers are retrained, reskilled, and have opportunities to thrive in a world where machines are taking over certain tasks. We need to ask the tough questions. Who gets to decide what jobs are automated? Who benefits from that automation? What happens to the displaced workers? Is there a plan for them, or are they just collateral damage? And if you think this isn't your fight, think again. Right now, it's warehouse workers, truck drivers, and customer service reps losing their jobs to machines. But in a few years, it could be your job. It could be your industry. Don't be naive enough to think that the machines are just coming for the blue-collar workers. AI doesn't care about your resume or your title. It cares about efficiency. And efficiency doesn't care who gets left behind. So, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit back and let tech companies dictate the future of work? Or are we going to stand up, demand regulation, and make sure that automation works for everyone, not just the few who are already profiting off this wave of disruption? It's time to start having that conversation. It's time to demand that as these technologies evolve, so does the way we regulate them. It's time to make sure that the future we're building isn't a future of inequality, but one of opportunity. A future where technology works with us, not against us. We need regulation. We need a plan for the workers of tomorrow. And most of all, we need to make sure that we're not just spectators in this revolution. We need to be active participants. The machines are coming. The question is, are we going to control the narrative, or are we going to let them control us? That's all for today's episode. Don't forget, the future is here. Let's make sure it's a future we choose. Stay tuned, because this conversation is just getting started.